What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing an analysis on the grand finals of MPL Indo game number 5 RRQ versus Onic. And to be straightforward, I picked this game because it's their game-winning match, so that's why I picked it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like these types of videos that take super long, so bear with me. And don't worry, I will get to an analysis for Mpl-Ph as well, and I'm actually going to do 2 matches for Mpl-Ph, and you'll see why once I upload it. Let's get right into the draft for this first match. Alright, so looking at the draft, it looks like RQ actually has the first pick. Let's look at the first face ban first, which is Fanny, Angela, Grok, while Onic, they banned Valentina, Eve, and Ling. So what it looks like Onic is trying to do here is they're trying to bait out Karina first pick, and RQ didn't fall for it, considering that they have a very experienced coaching staff. In most cases, like if you're playing ranked games, this would be like a Karina first pick, right? But RQ didn't want to rush a Karina pick, even if there's an Eve ban, right? Onic was really trying to sell it with an even Ling ban for RQ to first pick a Karina, but they didn't fall for it. They first picked Savior instead. The reason why is they could actually trade a Karina with Baksha. As long as both of them are open, you don't really have to rush both these picks. So for example, it would have been okay for RQ as well if Onic picked Karina instead of Baksha. Right, let's just put a letter K, and then if Onic picked Baksha, these guys would probably if they pick Karina, sorry, RQ would most likely pick Baksha. So it's like a trade. Hopefully you guys understand that. As long as there's a trade, they don't want to prioritize that specific hero. So let's talk about how the gameplay will fare off here at the mid lane. Both of them are scaling right here, as you can see, Savior and Sicilian. So it looks like Onic was thinking like, okay, since Savior doesn't really do much early game, we could also pick a hero, a mid lane hero that could also just farm at the mid lane, have really good wave clear, and scales really well. Both these heroes are very bad early game. They don't peel the jungle really well. They're both scaling heroes. The only advantage is Savior probably has more range than Sicilian, obviously because of his ulti, and probably has more hard CC. Let's just put crowd control. And Sicilian has better scaling, in my opinion. Sicilian hurts more, in my opinion. That's the advantage that Sicilian has, and more sustained, most likely. More sustained because of Sicilian's ulti. He gets extra movement speed, and he has a little bit of spell van. Alright, so that's how it's gonna go at the mid lane. They're just both gonna farm. They're not gonna help the jungle much. The only thing they'll do is they'll help on turtle once it spawns, most likely. But looking at the roamer, there's no roamer for Onic yet. Most likely they're gonna do a XP Masha here, since they don't have a playmaking hero. If you think about it, these guys have a Franco already on the first 3 picks, on the first phase picks. So they have a playmaking type of hero. What Onic is missing right now is someone that could make plays around the map. Masha can't do that because she doesn't really have hard CC. Baksha's crowd control is not enough. Plus, he's the jungler, so you don't really want Baksha going in first head on to like 5 members of RQ who even has a Franco that could stun you, and a Savior that could micro and immobilize you. It's gonna be really hard. So Onic really needs to last pick someone that has pretty decent crowd control, and they chose Valir from what it looks like. Obviously it's not the best playmaking type of hero, but with the way I think about it, they're just gonna adjust their play style. With this draft, they're gonna play more passively instead of engaging. They're gonna be the one kind of retreating and trying to micro RRQ, because these guys, RQ, they have 2 playmaking types of tanks. Technically, Ruby is a tank, semi-tank, I would say. Plus, they have more CC. They have the Brody stun, they have the immobilize from Savior, they have the Franco stun and hook, they have the Ruby taunt and pull. So it's like they have the better team fight overall. Looking at the gold lane though, these guys have better scaling technically. But the problem is, they do have the better late game with these 2 heroes. The biggest problem is, how are they gonna make these 2 heroes go online if they don't have a playmaking type of heroes for them? Like if there was a Franco, let's just say, for example, this wasn't a Valier pick and this was a Atlas, which is banned, or a Franco. For example, alright, 1-1 could get stacks because Franco stunned whoever he hooked, and then he could fly and ulti. That's how you put a 1-1 online. Same with Sicilian. If Franco hooks, Sicilian just uses second skill, first skill, and if you're late game Sicilian, that's gonna hurt, right? Especially if the guy you hooked is someone squishy like a Brody or a Savior. So yeah, that's the advantage that RQ has here. They have the playmaking type of hero, they have the better team fight in my opinion, but Onic has the better micro play in my opinion, and better scaling. Right? But it's only gonna get you so far. Even if you have the better scaling, you don't know if your teammates are gonna make the plays for you because they don't have much playmaking types of hero. So yeah, let's move on to the gameplay and check it out. In terms of draft, it looks like actually in my opinion RQ has the easier win condition for me. Alright, even though their scaling is not that good. Brody is not the best marksman late game. Karina falls off late game. Ruby is a little bit late game. Depends on what you build really. Savior is the only hard late game that RQ really has, right? While these guys have two late game heroes. It's like it's more of a 50-50, and it really depends on who executes their win condition better. But for me, the win condition that's easier to meet is RQ, right? So hopefully you guys understand that. It's not that they won the draft, it's just that their win condition is easier to handle. Better snowball, right? With the Karina, moves around the map super fast, and they have playmaking type heroes. So let's move on to the gameplay. Alright guys, so let's cover the gameplay right now. Let's see what happens here. So first things first, it's probably going to be really hard for Franco to actually invade because Onic does have a Valier. If Franco messes up the hook, in most cases, what will happen is he's just going to get harassed with the Valier first skill. So that's going to be really hard for Franco. So the best thing to do is probably just help clear mid lane and give some vision on the litho. And surprisingly, even if there's two people clearing this jungle camp compared to just one guy clearing this, Albert actually cleared faster than Baksha. That's actually insane. That is insane. Albert still cleared faster even when Sicilian actually leashed the Baksha. And in my opinion right here, Onic would probably get this litho because they do have a lot of zoning potential with the Valier early game. But then again, that's all Valier could pretty much do in the early stage of the game. Once it gets to mid game, hopefully, and late game, Valier's effectiveness falls off quite a lot. And I think Boy is actually doing a pretty good job here, making RRQ react right now. But what he could do here is, since they do have the litho here, he could probably harass this Franco. But I don't know why he's not doing it. He could harass this Franco when he's playing super aggressive like this. And Onic actually ended up invading Albert's jungle a little bit here on the bottom side. So in most cases, Sans is probably going to get level 4 first, before the turtle spawns. Right? Yeah, they could actually harass this Franco. I'm not sure why they're not doing it. I'm really not sure why they're not doing it, because Clay is still clearing here at mid. He's not going to be able to help. They should go aggro here against Franco, and if you won't get a kill, in most cases, you're going to make this Franco flicker, but they're not doing it. So I'm not really sure why Keyboy didn't go aggro here, right? Clay still doesn't have any damage, not much damage at all. So yeah, they could have harassed that Franco a lot more for Onic. So that's something that they could have improved on. And on the top lane, it looks like Karina wants to compensate for the litho that Baksha got and the jungle camp that Baksha got on the bottom side. So most likely Albert is going to use his retribution for the, I don't know what it's called here. It looks like a spider door, right? It's a crab almost. It looks like Baksha got the small one and Karina actually got the big one. So it's a fair trade. Both of them have pretty equal XP, but the problem here is Baksha's going to get level 4 because he still has the big red buff, or orange buff. Big red buff. Here in the laning phase for the gold lane, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure Brody has the upper hand in terms of laning, but 1-1 has the better scaling compared to Brody. Brody kind of falls off late game, where 1-1's late game is quite insane as long as you get those vital points. Now the turtle's gonna spawn, and it looks like RRQ, most of their members are here. It's gonna be a 4v4 in my opinion, I think. It was actually RRQ who cleared mid first, so in most cases, actually never mind, Keyboy's XP is actually a little bit more than Vince. But whoever gets this turtle will most likely hit level 4 first. That's the roamer that's gonna hit level 4 first, whoever gets this turtle. So let's see what happens here. So Franco stunned the Baksha. There you go. Still stunned, but not stunned anymore. The turtle's retribution line is still a little bit, it's not quite there yet, but it looks like Baksha did not even retry at all. Yeah, Baksha did not even retry at all. It was Karina that Karina was the only one that retreed. Yeah, see, he has retry, this guy has retry, right? But Karina actually won the retry battle, and both of them are actually not stunned. So that's actually just mechanics. The mechanics difference. And luck as well. Luck as well, to be honest. It's more of a 50-50 when things like this happen. But the bad part here for Onic is they even give up a kill as well. Masha tried to greed for the Karina, but the problem is, since RQ got the turtle, Franco turned level 4. As you can see, he just turned level 4. Yes, he's still level 3, and as soon as he gets the turtle, turns level 4. Right there, and then once he turned level 4, he has the stun, counter the Masha, which is super unfortunate for Boots, because he was doing a pretty good zoning. He was doing his job pretty well, and he was even going for Karina. His targeting is quite well as well. As you can see, he's targeting Karina. The bad part is he got ultied by Franco, and yeah, that's super unfortunate. It happens. Our Onic don't have any trades at all. So in Mpl-PH, when this usually happens, what usually happens in Mpl-PH is they just trade. If they know that they can't contest the turtle, they trade at the goal lane, right? The opposite team that has a disadvantage on the turtle trades at the goal lane and then gives the turtle away for free. But in terms of the draft here, since both teams pretty much have an even early game potential when doing turtle, but I would say R2 has the better team fight, Onic actually decided to contest for the turtle instead of trading. So I mean, it's not a bad decision from Onic. It was just super unfortunate that they couldn't get that last retribution to secure that objective. So retry diff in a way. Retry diff. So what I would see Onic doing here to kind of just catch up a little bit is focus on giving space for 1-1, because that is their win condition. They need to get 1-1 online if they want to win this game. They need to get 1-1 fed and Sicilian fed if they want to win this game. If they fail to do that, it's going to be really hard for Onic to win this game. As for RRQ, they just need to, I guess, out macro Onic with their playmaking types, with their playmaking ability with Franco and Ruby. So as long as they get pickups around the map, they should be fine. So let's see what happens here though. And like I said earlier, it already looks like Keyboy is going to be focusing on 1-1 to try and get him fed. And he's doing a really good job at it too, wasting a flicker on Skylar. So that's good. They have a timer for Skylar's flicker. So they know that in 5 minutes 35 seconds, Skylar doesn't have flicker until then. And Sans is actually playing super aggressive here. Even with the fact that he's going in by himself at first. Alright, Franco's kind of out of position here. I would say he was trying to give vision at the line bush, but since Baksha is super fast with his rolling ball, he couldn't do anything to get away from this Baksha and 1-1. So that's a pretty good pickup from Onic. I wouldn't say that's an error for Vin, because he's just trying to do his job and give vision for Brody, who just got back from recalling. So he was trying to give vision for Brody. So it was just unfortunate that Baksha is just super fast and he got stacked by 1-1, and Valier actually hit a first skill and he doesn't have flipping. So that's the unfortunate part for Vin. I still wouldn't consider it an error though, in my opinion. So the best thing to do here for Onic would probably be zone. So Baksha zones here. Valier gives vision in case anybody ganks on the bottom side. Plus the turtle's about to spawn. So Sicilian, all he needs to do is give vision as well along with Valier. And most likely before the turtle spawns, Sicilian needs to clear this mid wave before the turtle spawns. But from what it looks like, Onic is playing aggressive and they're zoning like I said they would. They're doing their job quite well. The problem is they kind of overzone. They don't need two people here to zone. They don't need two people here to zone. They only need Sans to zone, actually. Keyboy should be right here, actually. Keyboy should be right here, because Sans is already doing his job zoning, right? Even with Baksha just by himself, he's already scaring Savior away and Brody away. Now, if these two guys go aggressive, that's when Keyboy starts hitting first skill right here, right? But the fact that he actually went aggressive and tried to chase a little bit in a way, they kind of get punished for it. They didn't have the vision on Ruby. And I kind of wanted to point out as well, Ruby R7, man. You guys don't notice this, but look at what R7 did beforehand. He actually cleared the minion wave before Masha did, even though Masha knows that he's gonna get cleared. Ruby's gonna clear way faster than him. How do you say this? In most cases, with the Masha and Ruby matchup, Masha usually, in my opinion, would roam around the map faster, whereas Ruby is kind of slow at wave clearing. But Ruby does have the passive to go around the map quite well. So the problem here is maybe miscommunication. Masha should have reported this. Boots should have said, okay, Ruby cleared faster than me. Careful, Ruby might go to your lane. And that's exactly what R7 did. And that is a super smart play from R7. And considering that Keyboy, Onic doesn't have any vision here around the river, they get punished by that, right? They get punished by that. Even if they don't get a kill here, even if RQ doesn't get a kill here, most likely Onic will get punished here on the turtle, since he's hiding in the middle of the bush, and plus he has level 4 to create a play. So someone would have gotten picked off either way. No more flicker for Keyboy, plus he's dead anyways, so that's already a free turtle for RQ. Although there's a little bit of trade, I guess. Masha's gonna get a little bit of golden plate, but it's not really that big of a deal for RQ. It's a worth it trade. Global gold, XP and shield for a little bit of golden plate, which is not bad at all. So it looks like RQ is actually aware that, oh, Onic's win condition is get this 1-1 online. So why not take advantage of that? Kind of give 1-1 a hard time, and that's exactly what they're doing here. So they know that 1-1 is gonna recall. Skylar knows that 1-1 is super low. So what they're gonna do is fast push this most likely, and Franco's to zone over here on the tri-bush. Let's see what happens here. Not really sure why Skylar went towards that direction. Okay, no more second skill from Valier. Right. Okay. Okay, so Skylar still doesn't have flicker. That's the problem right there. This might have been a miscommunication on RQ side as well. Because once Franco missed that hook, it looked like Albert was already, like, his mindset was already retreat. Like there, he was waiting for a hook, and then he was trying to follow up. He was gonna follow up if he hit a hook, but he didn't. And as soon as he missed the hook, Albert and Vin they're already retreating. But then again, Skylar is actually trying to get a couple of hits on this tower. Alright, so that's the mispositioning from Skylar. I think this would probably be the first error. First main error in the game, I would say, for RQ side. Mispositioning from Skylar, and overstayed a little bit. It's not too major, it's simple fundamentals, but it's easy to fix. That shouldn't be happening though, especially in the grand finals like this. Maybe, you know, it's his first grand finals for RQ, so definitely the pressure is there. So because Brody died, most likely 1-1 is gonna get this tower for free, and they did. So the first tower goes to Onic. The best thing to do for Onic here is switch lanes, and Masha defend this bot lane. Also, it's really good for Masha to switch lanes because the turtle will be spawning here on the bot side. And it's better for 1-1 to actually push the top side, since the first tier tower is still alive for RQ side on the top side of the map. But let's see what happens here. What else is going to happen? It looks like Onic is doing a pretty good job trying to meet their win condition. It's pretty much still a 50-50 game. Looks like RQ wants to deny this blue buff from Baksha. And again, retry diff from both teams. Look at another retry diff. Albert is showing Sans what's up. They both retried almost at the same time, and we could see the emblem difference from both these two people. This guy has a 33 seconds cooldown on his retribution, while Albert has a 29-second cooldown on his retribution. So he probably has some skill points for lesser cooldown for spells. So in most cases, which makes it give him an advantage when invading, when trying to deny a jungle camp from the jungler. That's a good part about having a very short or having cooldown for your spells. So let's see what happens here. So Onic knows right away that they're not going to be able to compete or contest for the turtle because they don't have retribution. Plus Karina has the blue buff and Baksha doesn't. So this is what I was talking about earlier, is usually when you give away the turtle, you usually just trade on the opposite side of the map, and that's exactly what Onic is doing. And what I really am thinking about is what's it called? I see a lot of comments saying that RQ Indo in general just likes team fighting. They're not as methodical as PH and stuff like that. I would have to disagree with that, honestly. I think both these teams are definitely methodical. They're very strategic with how they approach the game. They do the fact is they do more team fights than PH. That's for sure. They do more team fights, but it's not because they're not strategic. They're just more aggressive. Whereas PH, where our region is more passive. That's also one of the things that kind of gave like a meta shock to my players. Because preseason, we always scrimmed Indo. Alright, we always scrimmed Indo, and they're very aggressive. And then when we got to the MPL, my players were like, they play so passive. Like MPL PH plays so scared. Not scared, but passive. And they always retreat and micro you and kind of just re-engage. That's their main thing about MPL PH. They like re-engaging. That's another error for RQ, by the way, the thing that we just saw. I think what Sans could have done is just stay under the tower instead of bumping into Skylar. Because even if Skylar was alone here, it's still not a good idea to actually just overextend, in my opinion. I think he should have just stayed here, most likely. Or maybe he was trying to stop the minions from getting into tower aim so that Brody can't get the tower. But either way, the tower is still down. So he just kind of gave him a free kill. Or maybe another better decision would probably be just give the tower away, because it's down anyways. Plus, they already got two trades. They already got two towers for a trade for one tower. Right? They got a top lane tower. They got a bot lane tower for one tower. Although RQ did get a couple of turtles, they got all the turtles so far. So that's the trade-off that I think Sans should have been willing to give up. Right? Because you can't get everything. You can't have everything go on your way. How do you say this? Everything doesn't go in your favor. There you go. That's how I want to explain it. But here we go. Most likely RQ is just gonna wait for the Lord, get a pick off, and then once they get a pick off, they do Lord. And it looks like RRQ is actually doing a pretty good job so far. Onic is doing a good job so far, because RRQ is not snowballing that much, alright? Because the gold lead is only like 1k. It's not that much. And plus the scaling goes towards Onic, right? When you're analyzing this, that's what you notice. It's still a 50-50 game. And it looks like even Clay's out of position here. He's gonna sprint, and he gets away, so that's good. He doesn't have sprint. 100 seconds, no sprint. And they even got a trade. Brody got a trade for a mid tower. So that's really good. The most important towers are actually mid lane tower, because that actually gives opportunities for the opposite team to invade your jungle on your side. It's easier to invade your jungle when you give away your mid lane tower, so that's actually a big impact. Even if let's say even if Onic still has this tower right here on the top side, it's still a big hit when that mid lane tower gets sieged. Alright, in terms of positioning, in terms of vision, and in terms of getting these junglers. Alright, they get a hook on Baksha, and they threw everything at Baksha, and he still lived. No more Franco ulti, no more Brody ulti. So they're gonna disengage. They don't want to fight that anymore. They threw a lot of resources. Wow, did Baksha have emo? Was that immortality that I saw earlier? Just kidding. It was just a stack of Brody. It was not immortality. I was imagining myself. Okay, so most likely what RQ would probably do here is they know that Baksha's gonna recall since he's super low. Franco doesn't have ulti though. I think what they could have done while that was happening is maybe siege bot lane instead of stay here. But then again, the Brody ulti is quite low cooldown. It's only like 15 seconds. Franco ulti is like, what, 25 to 30 seconds? So I guess they stayed here and they're still looking for pickoffs. They wanted to get the litho as well for more vision. And they are baiting out the Lord. Let's see what happens here. Both XP laners are still clearing their respective lanes. Alright. They ended up canceling the Lord. Let's see. It's kind of just like a back and forth kind of cha-cha dance from both teams. That's usually what happens when Lord spawns. Alright, whoever gets a pick off usually wins, and that's why I said earlier, it's easier for RQ Hoshi to deliver their win conditions because they have playmaking type of heroes. See, look at all that crowd control that's stopping Onic from moving around the map too well. Right? They have the better team fight. And they got a pick off, so now they could do the work. They don't have a Valier, they don't have as much zoning potential in the front line. And in most cases, Albert is just going to get a little bit of lifesteal here, most likely, on the jungle. And maybe even they might even go for the Lord here, considering that Valier still has a 10-second death timer. Look at Ruby. Is that a 50-50 matchup? It's my first time seeing a Ruby Masha matchup. I don't really know who wins that lane, honestly. I'm not familiar with that matchup. But I think what could have been better is, for RAQ at least, what they could have done better is start the Lord earlier instead of waiting so long to start the Lord. Considering that Valier was dead. But now Valier spawned, but either way, they're still not gonna catch up to the Lord. It's still gonna take... It's gonna be still super fast. It's still super fast. Even when Valier spawned, they didn't have time to respond to the Lord being taken. So I guess it was just right. The timing was just right. So never mind what I said earlier. Never mind what I said earlier about doing the Lord quicker. Because I was quite surprised about the damage output that they're doing to the Lord. That was a fast Lord. With a Brody and Karina. That was a pretty quick Lord. So I'm surprised that RRQ actually cleared mid lane here quick. Usually what teams do is they let the mid lane by itself when they get the Lord. And just let the minions do their work. While the side lanes gets pushed. And you flow the minions together. But it looks like they're kinda gathering all the minions together. They want to freeze the lane first. Gather a little bit of minions, as you can see, minion waves. And then as soon as these minions hit, then that's when they're gonna flow the minion waves and synchronize the flow of the minions between 3 lanes. And they're doing pretty good at it. They're doing pretty damn good at it. This top tower is down for sure. This mid lane tower is down for sure. This tower is gonna be down for sure on the bot side. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3 towers down in total. And I don't think they're gonna get an inhib tower. It's less likely to get an inhib tower. It's very unlikely to get an inhib tower in the first with the first Lord. But in most cases, RQ will also get this tower. All they need to do is zone out and let Brody do his work here on the bot side of the tower. So RRQ managed to use the Lord successfully and efficiently. The first Lord efficiently. So very well played. Now, what can Onic do to do a comeback? So like I said, I think the only way to come back here is, since they don't have a playmaking type of hero, let 1-1 scale, let Sicilian scale, and just defend. Because right now, the map pressure, that first Lord really took a big hit. They gave away 1, 2, 3, 4 towers with that one Lord, with that level 1 Lord. Right? So that's gonna take a big hit on the map pressure, you know, and the vision. And still, Onic is still actually playing aggressive, even when they're the one with less map pressure. They're the one playing aggressive. Look, they just want to fight. So maybe this is not wise for Onic to do, because they should be realizing their win condition. right? They should be realizing their win condition. And considering that, if you look at it, this is how bad it is. It might not look like RQ Hoshi is winning by a lot, since the score is only 6-4, right? But look at the gold lead, right? Compare the gold lead. And also, compare the XP between cores and tank. Look, Vin has more XP than a gold lane. Look, he has more XP than the gold laner of Onic. That's how far it is. That's how, ahead RRQ is. And yet, Onic is still trying to look for a play when they don't even have a playmaking type of hero. They're still trying to go aggressive, which doesn't make sense to me, because the only thing that they could do here for Onic is just farm. Let the waves push in and just farm. That's it. That's all they can do. Maybe if there's jungles that are spawned, like for example a blue buff or a red buff, then take it as a team. Take it as a team. Because right now, if Baksha goes for the red buff by himself, you're not gonna know if Ruby or Franco's there, or if the whole RQ team is on the red buff, right? So they need to just move together and farm together. And that's even gonna take more of a hit on Onic, because they're getting suffocated. When you farm together, you get less gold for each other, because you're sharing, gold between the red buff, this minion, this cannon minion, the blue buff, if you're sticking together at least. And the Lord spawned, and this should be pretty quick RQ Lord, unless Baksha gets a steal, and he's gonna force it. Right? They really need to make a play for Onic. And this is a really good disengage. This is a really good disengage from RQ, by the way. And this is what I like about this team as well. As a team, they don't like a 50-50 play. And this is what I try to tell my players as well, is I never like to see 50-50 Lords. Even if you're ahead by, how much gold? Like 5,000 plus gold, 5.6k gold. I don't like doing a 50-50 retribution fight, right? Because that could lead to a comeback ordeal of the team. And what RQ did is they focused on the hero. They were kind of on point with each other. The shot call was pretty clear, and they are following it, but Baksha actually tried to force the Lord since it didn't get reset. So that was actually a nice try from Sans to actually try to steal the Lord, because that was their opportunity to turn things around, right? If they get this Lord, it's gonna buy time for 1-1 and Sicilian to stack up and get their items. But unfortunately, again, the retribution supremacy from Albert is just way too good. Who even got the Lord? Wait, Karina got the Lord, but he retrieved second. So I'm guessing... Okay, I don't know where the HP of the Lord went. Oh, Sans retrieved way too early, as you can see. Yeah, he has no retrie right now. And Karina timed it perfectly. That is so unlucky. Maybe Sans got pressured a little bit right there. It was 630 HP left on the Lord when Sans retrieved. So it was definitely a risky play from Sans. It was a nice try, and Onic is trying to get a trade by killing the RRQ members so that they could defend this Lord. But from what it looks like, it's not going well for them. So they have 4 people dead plus a Lord. It doesn't look good, and I think it's over after this. They're not gonna be able to defend this. Sicilian doesn't have that much damage. He's already 50% health. The Lord is still alive. They're most likely just gonna clear the bot lane and just finish the game. That was a pretty one-sided game, honestly. I mean, Onic can't do much because of the draft, honestly. They just didn't meet their win condition. I honestly think that if they gave away that second Lord, this one, they don't have to force contesting the second Lord right there, because they have a Sicilian and a Valir that could defend. So I don't get why they have to force defend, right? Why do they have to force engage? Sorry, why do they have to force engage when they have heroes like Sicilian who wave clear super fast? 1-1 wave clears pretty decently, not bad, and they have Valir who just pushes minions away, and wave clears not so bad as well when the Lord spawn. So they just keep forcing fights. So maybe that's what the criticism is about MPL Indo not being strategic enough, they just like to fight. And I can definitely see that characteristic in MPL Indo, that they are definitely way more aggressive than MPL-PH. And MPL-PH is more passive, but that doesn't mean they're more strategical or more, how do you say this? They're not methodical. A lot of people are saying MPL Indo is not methodical. not as methodical as MPL-PH. Both regions are definitely methodical. It's just that MPL-Indo likes to fight more. Alright, so yeah, that's it for the grand finals. Congratulations to RQ Hoshi for winning another MPL, but this time with a different coach. I think it's Asil. A lot of people were trash talking Asil last season, but look at now, 4-1 in favor of RQ Hoshi against Onic Esports. So yeah, congratulations to them, to Albert, R7, and I'm pretty sure some of them are even playing for SEA Games Indo. All right, because we scrimmed them, and they're a pretty good team. But we also have a very good team as well. So I can't wait to watch SEA Games and see who wins. If VWise will carry us the gold medal, will give us the gold medal for the Philippines. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this analysis. Hit the notification bell, and that's all for today. For the next video, watch out for MPL-PH Grand Finals analysis, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.